a crime so disturbing that it not only shook a quiet Pennsylvania community, but also sent shockwaves across the entire internet. A place where families lived peacefully, neighbors trusted one another, and crime was the last thing on anyone's mind, suddenly became the center of one of the most horrifying stories of the year. Now picture this. A son, someone raised under the care and love of his father, turns against the very man who gave him life. But what makes this story even more unbelievable is not just the act itself, it's what happened next. Instead of hiding his crime, instead of running from justice, he decided to broadcast it to the world. Yes, you heard that right. He uploaded a shocking video to YouTube, leaving millions of people stunned, confused, and horrified. This is not a scene from a horror film. This is not a scripted drama. This is a real case, a real father, a real son, and a real community forever changed by one of the darkest crimes in Pennsylvania's history. Investigators couldn't believe what they were watching. Prosecutors called it a cold and calculated plan, and viewers who stumbled upon the footage were left speechless. The name behind this shocking case? Justin Mohn. A man whose actions have now become the focus of national headlines, courtroom drama, and endless debates about morality, mental health, and the role of social media in today's society. So what really happened that night? Why did Justin commit such an unthinkable act? And how did this private family tragedy explode into a public internet nightmare? Today, we're breaking down the full story, the crime, the trial, and the bigger questions it leaves us all asking. In early 2025, Pennsylvania authorities uncovered one of the most chilling family crimes in recent history. A man named Justin Mohn was arrested after he not only killed his father, Michael Mohn, but also shared a disturbing video online. The clip, which quickly spread before being taken down, showed Justin holding his father's severed head, while declaring that his father was now in hell for eternity. According to prosecutors, this was not a sudden outburst or a moment of uncontrollable anger. In court, they described Justin Mohn's actions as cold, calculated, and organized. That means investigators believed the crime was carefully planned in advance, rather than something that happened in the heat of the moment. This detail shocked many because it suggested a level of preparation and intent that made the case even more disturbing. The killing itself happened inside the family home, a place that should have been safe. For the victim, Michael Mohn, who was known in his community as a hard-working and respected man, it was an unimaginable betrayal. Neighbors later said that Michael never showed any signs of fear or conflict with his son, which made the crime feel even more unexpected. But what truly set this case apart from so many others was what Justin chose to do afterward. Instead of hiding what he had done, he decided to record a video and post it directly to YouTube. This reckless choice quickly turned a family tragedy into a national story. YouTube responded swiftly, removing the video and explaining that it violated their strict policy against violent and harmful content. However, by the time it was taken down, some users had already seen and even shared it, pushing the case into the spotlight of mainstream media. News outlets across the country began covering the story, and suddenly, what had started as a local crime became an issue of national conversation about violence and the misuse of online platforms. When the case finally reached the courtroom, prosecutors emphasized not only the brutality of the act, but also Justin's lack of emotion afterward. Witnesses described him as calm, detached, and showing absolutely no regret for what he had done. This attitude played a key role in the judge's decision. In the end, the court sentenced Justin to life in prison without the possibility of parole. That means he will spend the rest of his life behind bars, with no chance of release. Legal experts said the sentencing reflected both the seriousness of the crime and Justin's refusal to take responsibility for his actions. In the days following the tragedy, the local community was left in shock. Neighbors who had known Michael Mohn for years described him as a kind, hard-working, and trustworthy man. He was the type of neighbor who would always lend a hand, someone who represented the values of responsibility and stability. For them, the idea that Michael could lose his life in such a way, and at the hands of his own son, was almost impossible to comprehend. Community members expressed a mix of deep sadness and anger. Sadness because a respected figure in their town was gone, and anger because of the way the crime unfolded. Many residents openly shared that they felt betrayed on Michael's behalf. They could not reconcile the man they knew, a calm and gentle person, with the horrifying circumstances surrounding his death. But this case was not only about the personal loss to one family. Legal analysts who followed the trial pointed out something larger. This incident reflects a disturbing trend where violent individuals sometimes seek attention through the internet. Instead of hiding their crimes, they try to broadcast them, hoping to shock audiences or gain notoriety. This is where the role of online platforms comes into focus. Experts stressed that cases like this highlight the responsibility of digital companies to respond quickly and enforce their content guidelines. In this instance, YouTube acted swiftly, removing the video once it was flagged for violating strict rules against violent and harmful material. But even with fast action, the fact that clips briefly circulated online raised urgent questions about how technology can sometimes amplify crimes rather than contain them. For the community, this tragedy will always be remembered as both a personal loss and a cautionary tale about the dangers of misusing online spaces. It wasn't just about one family. It became a conversation about society, responsibility, and how we protect both communities and digital audiences from acts of violence. This case is more than just a family tragedy. It raises bigger questions about social media responsibility and the way violent crimes are sometimes broadcast for shock value. Platforms like YouTube have since reinforced their stance on removing graphic and violent content immediately to prevent copycat cases or unnecessary trauma to viewers. This case goes far beyond the heartbreaking details of a family tragedy. It also forces us to ask difficult questions about the role of social media in today's world. When Justin Mohn chose to record and upload his disturbing video online, he wasn't just committing a crime against his father. He was also misusing a powerful digital platform in a way that shocked millions. Experts say this reflects a troubling trend. Some violent offenders are seeking attention or notoriety by broadcasting their actions, hoping to create shock value. That is why platforms like YouTube have made their policies very strict in recent years. According to YouTube's community guidelines, any content that depicts or promotes violent criminal acts, graphic harm, or glorification of real-world violence is immediately removed. Their monetization policies also state that content discussing such crimes must avoid showing graphic imagery or sensationalizing the violence. In fact, in response to cases like this, YouTube emphasizes its responsibility to protect viewers, especially younger audiences, from unnecessary trauma. Instead of showing the raw or disturbing footage, creators are encouraged to focus on the facts of the case, the legal process, and the social lessons that can be learned. This ensures the story can be told responsibly without violating community standards. The Justin Mohn case, therefore, is not just about a son who betrayed his father. It's also a reminder of how fragile family trust can be, and how dangerous it becomes when digital platforms are misused for the wrong reasons. While the justice system has addressed the crime in court, the psychological impact of what happened and the fact that it was once uploaded for the world to see continues to echo far beyond Pennsylvania. What do you think this case says about the future of social media and crime? Should platforms take even stronger action against violent uploads? Or is this purely a law enforcement issue? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life crime investigations and analysis.